actually was having this conversation tonight with a friend of mine who sent me the link and everything. So I'm 38. And so I know you've had a lot of younger women on, but I'm 38. I am single. I have no children. So I know you were talking about when women get to that 40 plus range, it starts to go downhill. Luckily, I'm still fertile because when you get my age, you start to see a fertility doctor and make sure you're good.
Right.
But I guess my question to you would be, for women that are over the age of 35 or like myself, approaching, 40 in 2 years, it is very difficult out here to find men that are really ready to settle down and take things seriously. I've met plenty of guys that are really great, but then they have these insecurity issues, or they're just still playing the field, or they're imitating.
Shorten it up. You're 38 and you're ready to get married and you're good. But the problem is you can't seem to find a man that's ready to marry you.
Damn.
I wouldn't say necessarily ready to marry me, but ready to at least be on my path.
Do you want to be married?
I do.
How long should it take a man to marry a woman? How long should it take a man before he knows he wants to marry a woman?
I think that most men probably know within 6 months to a year.
So you want to be married. So you want to be on that path because you're 38. What city are you in?
I'm in Chicago.
All right. So when I talk about no man's land,
hey Gabby,
danger zone, and all those other things, I say it not to be pejorative. It's just to focus. Just because you're over 35 doesn't mean it's over. I mean, I know women that are that age. I've actually gone out with women that age. But it's different. It's different in the sense that what's the longest relationship you've ever had?
My longest relationship was 5 years.
How long ago was that? Hi, Jessica. Hi, Monique. I see you in there. 5 years. How long ago was that?
That was in 2017.
2017. 5 years. It ended in 2017?
Yes.
So you were 2012, 2017. Were you guys in the same city?
Yes.
Why didn't you guys get married?
He was a serial cheater. I mean, honestly.
You're one of your five.
Wow, somebody disliked
in year 3.
I got so many dislikes.
So why'd you stay?
Who disliking this shit so heavy, yo?
I think that I
was curious.
No, I understand. I think that I had to do a lot of self-reflection in order to understand that after the relationship, and it was a lot of.
That's okay. I've got 4 more people. I need to kind of get through this. And that's fine. You don't find. 3 years. People need to go through their process. Just get rid of somebody. I get it. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Dress size.
What's my dress size? Did you say my dress size?
Yes.
I'm a size 6 or 8.
Size 6 or 8. And how much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
I weigh myself every day, so I was 148 this morning.
Cool. Last question. If you had to give yourself a rating, just your face, fresh face right out of the shower, your natural hair, what would you give yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, and you cannot use 7?
Oh, I'm not going to use 7. I would give myself at least 8.95.
Okay. So around here, Beyonce is roughly an 8. Kelly Rowland's roughly a 9. So you're on the Kelly Rowland end of things.
Yes, I am.
All right.
All right, let's get it popping. All right. What's going on? We're on time. We are on time. Let me make sure this thing is working right. Y'all bear with me a second. I just want to make sure everything is working correctly. We're magically on time tonight. Look like the stream is running good. All right. Excuse me. Let me just make sure we're doing what we need to do. Hold on. Let me check a few things. Where we at? And then I'm gonna let the gram know that we're live. Oh yeah, we good. We good. We got the stream looking good. All right.
What happened to your Instagram?
I like it. What's going on, man? We here. Everybody, come on in the room. Let me let everybody know again that we're live right now. Hold on. Let me let the gram know real quick. But I'm glad everybody's tuning in. Everybody pile on in the room. Let's get ready to get busy. Don't forget, guys, you can get the Foundational Black American Conference lecture. You can get the full conference at officialfba.com. If you go to officialfba.com, how do I get this? How do I get this? What am I doing? Officialfba.com, you can peep the whole thing. Okay, that's officialfba.com. The link is right there below. All right, let me do this thing for the gram real quick to let them know I'm live.
Major Suarez.
And then when I do that, guys, I got to give people a chance to come on in the room.
Filipinas be having Spanish last names, like, bro.
How do I do this?
Really?
Okay. All right, hold on. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm live on YouTube right now. I need you to swipe up and join me live right now on YouTube.
Major Suarez.
Right now.
Hi, Suarez. Major Suarez.
This.
Hello, you.
Hope y'all had a great week. I didn't do my regular broadcast this week. I'm still in DC.
Gang shit.
We'll talk
already
about
know
DC
how
in
he's
a minute.
coming with this gang shit.
All right.
Big gang shit. Big H block shit.
All right.
Big PG
All
shit.
right.
YPG shit.
All right, we're here. All right, I'm here for y'all, man. What's happening?
They
All
tried
right.
to stop me.
Oh yeah, we got 150K subscribers.
I ain't been back.
Here
I ain't been on YouTube
on
in like
this
3 months, yo.
Lovely
Miss
YouTube
Jada
channel.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
great
hey,
thing.
hey Lulu,
We need to get over that
hey
200,000
Milano,
hump.
hey
Let's
Majo,
get to 200,000, guys. We need to get to. Oh yeah, by the way, this is my Marion Barry. This shirt, since I was just in Washington D.C. This is my Marion Barry shirt. Give a shout out to the Honorable Mayor Marion Barry, the legendary Marion Barry, who has passed. But we got to give honor to Marion, the bitch set me up Barry. You dig? But everybody come on in the room. We got a lot
off my phone
to cover on tonight's broadcast, but I'm going to say again, if you want to watch the full FBA conference, the Foundational Black American Conference, you can watch it at officialfba.com. Oh, y'all, do y'all like my braids? Yeah, a lot of people have been complimenting my lovely braids. One of my braiders came by, hooked me up since I got back in town. I see some of y'all choosing, but I can't take that choose. I'm with my queen. I can't take that choose. I gotta pass that on to the next dude.
Sketchy though.
But yeah, let's get to everybody hit that subscribe button. I want to get to 200,000 subscribers. We want to get to 200,000 subscribers. We got 150,000 subscribers. Everybody hit that like button. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. And by the way, if you want that flag, the FBA flag right there, you go to officialfba.com. Officialfba.com, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. What's up, Patricia Jenkins? I see you. So, a lot of stuff we're going to touch on. I was in DC this week, had to handle some business, and also I was there. I was getting a lot of work done at my hotel. I got a lot of stuff done because it was more peaceful. I got a lot going on here at the crib. So, it's just good to get away sometimes and just get a lot of work done. I got a lot of work done as far as the editing for the film.
Dave, what's up, bro?
That's going to be phenomenal, by the way, guys.
Yo, Dave, what's up, bro? I miss you,
shout out
nigga.
to DC. I love my DC family. Shout out to Washington, DC, man. I love the vibe in DC. Very good
David Pickering, how you been, cousin?
The DC family,
you,
very good people.
Yo, Jenny Martinette, I see you.
People.
I see you, Jenny Martinette.
Got a bone to pick.
I be
butchering on my
names
social media. These goddamn DC people,
man,
they got something out there called
Lime Lifestyle. Pretty
sauce.
Easy. David Pickering, that's Gangnam.
Nigga.
Kiro, hey, best friend.
They got that
wait.
out there in DC.
Oh wait. Hey,
Mambo
Kiki.
sauce.
That's baby girl
And
right
that's
there.
like a little open secret out there in DC, nigga. This sauce is so damn good. My sister Jade, shout out to Jade. Jade was the first person who actually told me about it recently.
Kiki.
She was like, and DC people
Lil
are very
Kiki in the
conspiratorial
building,
about that damn sauce.
LCJ
There's a
Utility
sauce
Vlogs
called Mambo sauce. It's kind of hard to describe what it tastes like, but it's a DC staple.
You see how cracked my screen is?
Mambo
That shit
sauce.
Is
It's either
pitiful,
mambo. People say it different ways. But
I'm about to start a GoFundMe, dog. Y'all gotta send
my
me some
sister
money.
Jade, the lovely Jade.
I'm about to start a
She's
GoFundMe.
the co-host of the
shit.
FBAC conference. My sister.
Lime Lifestyle. What's up with you,
She was
Lime?
like, you gotta try the mambo sauce. I'm like, why are you whispering, Jade? Well, why is this a secret? Everybody who mentions it is like, you gotta try that sauce. Why y'all so conspiratorial about this shit? Why y'all whispering? And what's interesting, a lot of the restaurants, they don't really advertise it. You kind of gotta ask for it. They got this thing that's real secret.
Yo, what's up,
real
little
secret
nigga?
about this shit.
Gang.
Y'all don't want nobody.
What's up with
I
you,
guess y'all
gang?
don't want it to spread out too far. You just kind of want to hold
What's up
on
with
to
you,
it.
gang?
Fuck
I'm
that.
back on these
I'm
YouTube
telling
streets, ready to
everybody.
take this shit over.
This shit was
Ready to get it
delicious. I
poppin'.
had that on some chicken
I'm
wings
back.
at like midnight.
I'm back.
Let me get some of that.
Well,
I said,
whoop-de-doo.
let me
I'm
try
back, cousin.
some of that sauce.
I'm good, bro.
And the sauce
missed
option
y'all.
I was ordering from
You know me, I had to come back, check out the fan.
DoorDash.
What they talking
I
about?
was ordering from DoorDash, and they had the buffalo wings, and they didn't have they only had like 3 options: honey barbecue, lemon pepper,
I don't like
and
people pulling up on me,
teriyaki.
because I be on some shit.
And then I put a special
That's why
request: add
That's
mambo
why I try to
sauce if
be
you got
real
it.
isolated.
And then the Siri app whispered, "You sure you want that
Malu.
mambo sauce?"
Malu. Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
It just felt like, I was making some type of
Is that
illicit
Mariah
transaction
Vaughn?
with this damn
Is that you,
mambo
Mariah?
sauce. Everything is so secretive with this shit.
Oh, I fucked
So
up.
I got it, and the mambo sauce was on it. It's all pretty and glistening, and I got the dark sauce. I'm like, okay, what's this? Nigga, I bit it in that shit.
I done heard somebody messages by
That
accident
shit
with this
was on
dumbass phone.
fleek.
Malu, y'all, my bad, cousin.
Nigga, what y'all
I'm
putting in
over
that
here
sauce? Nobody
fumbling
will
and
tell
shit.
you what it's made out of. That's the thing. Nobody tells you what the shit is made out of. I asked them, what's made out of? You don't know. Y'all get the buck in your eyes. What's this shit made out of? I have to hush in here before you get us all in good trouble. Dude, what's the shit made of? That's why I can't. It's hard to describe. I don't even know how to describe
my fault,
it.
because it's this girl named Mariah Vaughn, and she under
I
the
don't even know
alias
how to describe
Maluya.
this stuff, nigga. This shit is on fleek. This is
You'll
like
see
some
her.
liquid
She'll be
crack,
here.
nigga. I don't know what they put in this
Everybody
damn
know
mambo
Mariah
sauce,
Vaughn. She
but
pretty
nobody
as
would
hell,
tell you what
sexy
it's
as
made
hell.
out of.
And she went under the
Nigga,
alias
so I'm like
Maluya.
up at 7 in the morning waiting on the chicken spot
And
to
you
open up.
that name definitely look like hers. When she pull up, I'm gonna be like, yo, ain't that your old
When
name?
is this goddamn chicken spot gonna open up? I gotta get a fix.
Yang Nels. Y'all
Nigga.
pulling up on the gangster. I feel sick.
But
man.
that
What the fuck is wrong
mambo
with you,
sauce
dog?
ain't no damn joke.
Fuck, you got COVID? You
You ever go to
nigga?
DC, get you some of that mambo
Nigga,
sauce.
what you got,
I
COVID,
see some of
nigga?
my Chicago folk. Nigga,
What's up with you?
that Chicago, that ain't
Talking
nothing
about you
but
feel
that's
sick.
like mild sauce in
Just
Chicago.
gonna
Listen,
drop my
listen.
link. Go
And
ahead.
I love Chicago food.
Kamustika.
I love Chicago food.
Kamustika.
And people were comparing that to
Pabuha.
Harold's
The
chicken
king.
sauce. That Harold's
The king.
chicken. Now, I
The
get
king.
Harold's chicken all the time. Harold's
The king.
chicken is the business. But it ain't fucking with that mambo
Time
sauce,
suck.
though.
Harang.
I love
Harang.
Harold's chicken. I'm religious to
Harang.
Harold's
The
chicken.
harang
It
is
ain't
real,
touching
right?
that mambo sauce. It's not touching the mambo sauce, though. Yeah?
Yeah.
And somebody said that the mambo sauce actually came from Chicago. I don't know. I don't know where y'all got it from.
You got a premiere later?
Nigga, that thing is on fleek, man. That thing is on hit. But what have we got to talk about? We got a lot to talk about. But again, I had a great time. No, Harold's is good.
I'm
Don't hate on
go
Harold's
live
chicken.
and drive.
Harold's is good.
But see, I'm
Don't
gonna
you
lose
hate on
connection.
Harold's
Matter of
chicken.
fact, I'm gonna just connect to my
You're not gonna blaspheme.
my mobile
You're being
shit.
blasphemous.
I'm gonna just turn my phone Wi-Fi on.
You're being blasphemous.
Woo! That means I could go to
Oh yeah, my
anywhere and
app.
be
You know
live.
what? You said, why don't I talk about the app? By the way, we got some of the bugs fixed, and I'm glad you reminded me. It slips my mind.
I'm about to take this. I'm about to take this YouTube shit over.
Flex app. We got some of the bugs fixed.
Hold on, I got some
on
footage.
the app.
I got some
Go
exclusive
to
footage for y'all.
the iTunes store and the Google Play Store.
I got season
and
1 of some
download
comedy
the
skits coming up.
Foundation Flex
I got a
app.
web series coming up. I'm doing
And you
live
know what?
streaming,
And I
live
really
gaming.
don't mention it a lot
Where
because
Kevin
I want
King
a lot
at
of us
set?
to use
Where
that
Kevin
kind
King?
of covert.
Where is
You know what I'm saying?
Kevin King?
I want
Where
us to
is
kind of
Jackie
use
at?
that to kind of
Where
be a
is
thing between
goddamn
us where we need to do some kind of emergency. We got a lot of the bugs
Rona?
fixed.
Where's Rona Vlog at? Somebody go get Rona.
We got a lot of
back
the
live.
bugs fixed.
Yo, tell everybody I'm back
And
live.
I'm not promoting that too much. Just like some of these Proud Boys and all these guys, and I'm gonna get on them, how they got these little apps where they communicate with each other, but they don't really promote it like that. But those who know. I want us to be on that. I want us to be on that. Those who know. I want us to not just use that as a coochie popping app. I want us to use that for real communication. I want us to use that for real communication. You there?
9 million people in the motherfucking building. Thank you for the support. Oh, play music.
A lot of stuff went
shit.
down this weekend. Yesterday.
You sure you want me to start playing some music? It's gonna go.
They had the Million MAGA March out there in DC.
It's gonna go down.
And
you sure you want me to play some music, Gabby? Gabby love when I play some music. That should be straight
drill
rap. Gabby like that gangster
allowed
shit.
The white supremacist
Okay,
group,
Gabby, I see what type of shit
the
you
Proud
into.
Boys, they are
Gabby like
hardcore white
that American
group,
gangster
and
shit.
they are a proxy for the police.
Gabby kinky.
There's not even a shadow of a doubt right now. They'll try
Gabby
to deny
kinky.
it by using the "I'm white, not
She
say
like
so"
she like
narrative.
bad boys, bro.
But the Proud Boys,
she like bad
is a white
gangsters.
supremacist group.
I'm a
that
good
has
guy
infiltrated
though.
law enforcement, and they
Right,
work
Gabby?
as
And I'm nice.
proxies for police agencies around the country. They go around doing the dirty work for the police by stabbing and assaulting people, while the police turns a blind eye to it. They do this all over the country because they are a state-sanctioned vigilante group.
Yo, I gotta reconnect with all my YouTube
police are the
family,
Proud
y'all.
Boys. When the Proud Boys show up,
heavy
they're
on
the
the
police,
smash
so they can go out here and do a bunch of illegal attacks, and
10
the
million
city
people in the building. Let's
will
fucking
not
go.
be
Let's
compliant
fucking go. 10,
or put on
10
the
million
hook
people in the
for the
building.
actions
Let's
of the
fucking
Proud,
go,
for the
nigga.
actions of the Proud Boys.
What time is
So
it?
they're foot soldiers.
Ooh,
they're deputized white supremacists.
5:47
That's
in the
all.
fucking morning, my nigga.
So we got to
Ain't
understand
nobody
that
up but me.
dynamic
Like
when you encounter them.
5:47
You
a.m.
understand?
shit, and I'm up like nothing. It's nothing.
We better understand warfare.
I didn't even go to sleep.
We better understand
I'm
how
just
warfare
up.
works. Now, today we're talking about the dangers of degendering. This is all going to tie in.
Hours is today. You're way too.
White supremacist society.
Know, right?
They keep trying to push an LGBT agenda.
My laptop is on 60%. My phone is on 37%.
The white establishment keeps trying to tell Black society that we need to be all about LGBT inclusiveness. Black people are so homophobic. Representation matters. We need to be non-binary. All of that stuff that's promoting towards.
Oh yeah, I was about to play that music for Gabby and shit.
You said Steve Bannon shouted me out on his podcast. They actually wanted me to be on his podcast. So I'm not really doing interviews like that right now. I got some bigger fish to fry here. But listen, the dominant white supremacist society, and we're talking about this in the movie Buck Breaking. This is really what the movie Buck Breaking is about. The white supremacist society, they keep telling us that
I
we should
been
be
on this
gender
MacBook
fluid as Black people. They're forcing it on us.
Been sitting in the same spot since the
They're
last YouTube video I did on this joint.
They're forcing it on us.
And it's just been sitting there.
And it's part of the degendering agenda. When they degender you, when they tell you, and this is directed towards Black people, you shouldn't worry about gender. You should be non-binary Black people. Don't worry about penises and vaginas. Remember when the dude was on the Breakfast Club? We need to stop worrying about people's dicks. Dicks don't mean nothing.
What the fuck?
They want us to be on some gender neutral, non-gendered. They want to degender us the same way they did in slavery. They've always tried to degender us. Not try, they've achieved. Even with the castrations, that was a form of degendering. In slavery,
all right,
they treated black men and black women the same. They didn't make a...
I was listening to that though. I was listening to that. Oh, half of these motherfucking videos is unavailable now. Like all them old songs I'm looking at, Gabby, they took them shits right down. They took all of them down. They all gone. They is all fucking gone. I forgot where was I getting them fucking songs from? I really can't remember. All those songs is gone. Shit crazy. Yo, what the fuck? Lil Kiki in the building. I think Kiro is just live right now. This MacBook is like moving fast as shit. Damn. Party God, DJ Ocky back on live. Damn, I still got that motherfucking money symbol next to my shit. I really got a music channel. I can't find no drill rap songs and shit. I'm gonna have to go on a hunt for new music and shit. I gotta look for new drill, new UK and American drill music. I'll do that shit later. Cause that shit is a process in itself. You're just gonna be looking for new music every single day, really. I wasn't worried about no fucking music. Fuck music right now, cause I'm trying to get this money, cousin. I'm trying to get this goddamn money, cousin. Sorry. My nigga, golly. My sincerest apologies, family. My sincerest apologies.
Tonight on the Black Channel, we'll be examining one of the chief problems that is plaguing Black people in spreading information and disinformation. Our treasonous, traitorous advocates who are really here to be backstabbers. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent Black thought. We are the Black media. And this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically Black college university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program, as we continue the never-ending effort to articulate the Black agenda for Black people's interests, we have to understand that there is a war afoot, and that war is taking place against Black society, and in some cases in Black society. We're also going to discuss how forces outside of Black society are attempting to make incursions into Black society for the purposes of doing that. But this is where we are right now. What you have is, in 20 years ago, you used to have something that we now call the dead Black media, the old Black media, Ebony, Essence, TV One, BET, all of these, I can't even call them institutions. All of these would-be organizations who set up shop for the sole purposes of misleading Black people. Their job was simply to be a consumer class, to lead the consumer class and to transform Black people into a consumer class of white interests. And they would use several means to do this, but the chief means was to say that we are here to broadcast, publish whatever in Black people's interests. And in the process, turn Black people into one of their consumer factions or consumer groups. And that was the whole purpose. That was it. And from there, the politicians started getting in on it and realizing, well, hell, we can do what the old Black media has done, and we can just blatantly sell Black folk out. Now, it used to be that your media apparatus was wishy-washy, but the politicians understood they better work in your interests. Your political class, your social class, your socio-political class understood this. So Adam Clayton Powell, Marion Barry, these were folks who understood that they had to work in the interests of Black people. But what happened was your media institutions were overtaken. It was the Black media institutions that were telling you who was working for you and who was working against you. But somewhere along the line, your Black media institutions, and I trace this back really to the 80s in sincerity, they had always been a little questionable. But in the 80s, there was no longer a line. There was no longer a line. And by the time we get to the 90s, your so-called Black media was knocking itself over and hurting itself to demonstrate to the white political structure that they could lead, mislead, and manipulate the Black vote. That the Black vote was now no longer going to be informed of anything. That was going to be the point. It was no longer going to be informed of anything. They were no longer going to tell us anything. No more. From here on in, their purpose for existing was going to simply be to deceive Black people. That was going to be their purpose for existing. Their purpose for existing was going to be to manipulate Black people. Their purpose for existing was going to be to deliver the Black vote.
Wake up, kids.
Now, other people have their own media institutions. Jews have Haaretz. Latinos have Telemundo and Univision. But Black people, our media was co-opted by willing accomplices. Individuals who willingly and willfully went to work to sell us out.
Yikers.
And from once they had the cover of the old Black media, once the old Black media made it very clear that they were for sale, then the political class had the cover that they needed. Black people as a group have never really trusted the white corporate media. But when your black corporate media told you everything was all right, then as a group, black people signed off on it. Black people were willing to accept it because black people have always kind of lagged in that regard. When it's very clear that something was no longer serving our interests, we kind of lagged in regard to making that turn, is what we've done. And so now, whether it's TV1,
7,
whether it's the Congressional Black Caucus,
hey, 7,
whether it is your vice president,
7,
president, whoever, it doesn't
where
matter.
have I been? That's the
matter
question,
who
ain't
it
it?
is, they are
That's the
all
question.
going to
Everybody
work
want to know where I've
against
been, man.
They're not playing
Jeez.
against the Republican
I
Party.
know, man.
They're playing against
I don't even know where I've been.
You
The
see,
fuck?
black
It's
people,
6 a.m.
what is
6
happening
a.m.
is that
6 a.m.
they see that we're no
I
longer
miss you, 7.
being mindless consumers. They understand something about math I taught you all years ago. Once 10% of a population changes its mind and goes in another direction, is pretty much going to be a fait accompli that the rest of the population is going to follow that 10%. Once 10% of a population decisively moves in a specific direction, the rest of that population is eventually going to go along. It's all downhill from there. All downhill from there.
All downhill.
And that's where we're at right now.
7, 7, 7.
We've reached a critical mass where over 10% of the black body politic and 10% of the black population is changing direction. That's where we're at right now. We are changing direction. We're not looking for a pat on the head. We're not looking to be purchased. We're not looking to be bought. But the old powers that have been bought off, they are still looking. They are still waiting. James Clyburn's, there's a receipt for James Clyburn's ass that is decades old. Decades old. And yes, I am going to say this. It is not coincidental that James Clyburn and Lori Lightfoot have that same drunk uncle look to them.
Hey,
they go and look for individuals who got that droopy drunk uncle look. That's the kind of person that the party gets behind. Not very bright, not very competent. They'll wind up dolls you. Tell them what to say, march them out there, and they regurgitate it. And if you'll notice, Elijah Cummings and John Lewis, and we can go down the line, all of them had this real mush-mouthed, droopy-eyed, doped-up, alcoholic, reprobate look to them. These are individuals who couldn't wait to sell you out. Couldn't wait. And the disease, the seductive lie that we've been told is that, well, give them the benefit of the doubt.
So
people,
what happened?
We don't have to give them the benefit of the doubt because there is no doubt. There is none. They are now openly coming out and saying, vote for me because ain't nothing gonna happen. And what they're waiting to see is, what will the consequences be? Will there be consequences for doing this? And up until now, there have been some minor ones, but they're checking to see there are going to be some major ones. They're checking on that. They're waiting to see just how far it's going to go. They're waiting to see just how far they can take it. Because understand, they're crash dummies. Roland Martin is a crash dummy. The Democrats know that his ass is for sale. They know it. There are no secrets there. They know what they're dealing with. The Democrats know Roland will do anything. And so will Sean King. Sean King doesn't serve black people. Not now, not ever. Sean King is not here to help us. Sean's here to help himself. And the political establishment knows this. You see, the problem that they have with individuals like me is I'm not asking them for anything. I'm not leveraging anything. I'm not coming to them and saying, well, you know, if you would just do a little bit over here for me, then I'd raise up off you. It's nothing like that. I didn't put together a black media presence for the purposes of leveraging it for individual benefits. I didn't do that. I don't have a mama or a daddy who is languishing in some foreign country somewhere, and I'm willing to say or do anything to adjust that one policy, even if it does nothing for other black folk. If it helps me, then that's it. I'm not doing that. So just understand, they're looking at you and saying, well, I'll be damned, the nigga can't be bought. What do we do if he can't be bought?
Assassination attempt. Yikers.
We have backstabbing advocates. Our so-called advocates have perfected the skill of stabbing us in the back. And it used to be a lot easier. That bullcrap that Ayanna Pressley pulled yesterday, that used to be a lot easier to do. It used to be a lot easier to just go out there and tell black folk, people of color and minority, it used to be easy to do that. It ain't easy no more. It's not, they can't get away with it the way they used to. It's not happening like it used to anymore.
I gotta make you a moderator, fam.
They used to be able to just tell you, well, vote for the lesser of two evils, and black folk would show up in droves. That's what got Barack Obama the vote. That's what got Bill Clinton the vote. It didn't take 2 and 3 weeks to count ballots before they were verified and certified as the winner of the election. Back then, black folks showed up in droves. Didn't happen in 2016. Didn't happen in 2020. Not the way they were looking for it. They were looking for droves. They were looking for people to show up. They were looking to see that the black voter base was solid. And the fact that they are not, they started off by saying black folk really showed up for us. And then 48 hours later, Latinos really showed up for us. That's them letting you know, yeah, it ain't as solid as they were hoping for. It ain't as solid as they would have hoped. That's where they're at now.
I'm fucking up. I got all.
And they tried this 6-7 years ago with the Black Lives Matter people. They marched them out.
Okay.
And those were going to be your new civil rights activists, your new civil rights advocates. Remember that? DeRay McKesson and Netta and the rest of them, those were supposed to be your new civil rights advocates. The chick who tried to jump up on the Statue of Liberty, those were supposed to be the folks that people would follow. They were supposed to put up a Twitter page because Twitter was supposed to be the new hip hop happening thing to have. That was what was supposed to happen. Remember? That was supposed to be what they did. They were supposed to set up a Twitter page, and all the young people, the grassroots, were supposed to gravitate to that. But what they didn't understand is that DeRay McKesson isn't one of us. He's one of yo niggas. Mark Lamont Hill isn't one of us. He's one of their niggas. Netta isn't one of us. It's one of their niggas. Bree Newsom and the rest of them, that's your niggas. Angela Rye, she's one of your
Daily
niggas.
vlog for babies and families. Hello? Like the
Joy
stream.
Reid, she's not one of us. She's one of yours.
Like the stream.
She doesn't speak the language. She spends no time with the people. She does not understand the soil.
Jacket, please. Okay, fine.
You're not going to be able to sit up here and grab
jacket.
a few Negroes that you handpicked and elevated and going to prop them up and say, okay, they speak for you Negroes now. That's not the way it's going to work. And you can send them out there and think you're going to tell them, well, you can use some of the slang that the soil uses and the street uses. It's not going to work this time. It's not working. And all I want to do now is I want to poke them and prod them and goad them to keep talking and keep talking and keep talking. Because the more they talk, the worse it gets. The more they speak, the worse it gets for them. It's not getting better. They're hoping that the discussion ends. That's what they're hoping for. I'm here to tell you the discussion hasn't ended. It's just started. It's just started.
Oh my goodness, my computer is on some dumb shit.
Now, what I want to do here is I want to give you an example. I want to go into detail on this. And we're going to be doing that here in a moment. I'm going to take first a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. But before I do that, I do want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Streamlabs, and Cash App. Thank you very much for doing that. My man, Andrew, we appreciate your support here, brother. Quincy, that's my man as always. Pookie Jenkins, that's my dude from years back here. And of course, Rodney, I appreciate that. And everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program, give it more than lip service. We appreciate that. When we return, we're going to go into detail about your backstabbing advocates, exactly what it is they sound like, why it is they're scared, what it is you're watching out for, and what makes us different. This is the Black Channel.
He is not some black leader. He isn't chasing fame. He doesn't crave white acceptance nor smile pleasantly for his enemies. Instead, he silently watches them. He is faceless. He is everywhere. He is black first. His name is Occam Jeffers, a ruthless counter-racist hitman. Occam Jeffers has been assigned a mission to eliminate murderous cops. Will he obtain justice for the subjugated black citizens of New Orleans? Or will white violence once again reign supreme? Find out in the upcoming novel, War of the Heart. Available everywhere books are sold on December 1st.
I need to read that book.
Visit spiritofh1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
I'm definitely getting that. So he assassinated racist cops.
Danny, what are your thoughts?
Holy shit, dude.
That's
Holy shit. Ay caramba.
ain't nobody ever gave me nothing.
Y'all see the
Except
sun
for
coming
my
up?
political party.
We watched the
They
sun
already
rise
gave me
together.
my buttermilk biscuit.
Nice. That's how you.
And recently they gave me a honey packet to go with it.
Watch the sunrise with your family on YouTube, nigga. Gang.
Today is a proud day.
Gang.
It's like a crayon box.
Gang. Gang.
Yellow crayons matter.
Gang.
Blue
Gang.
crayons matter. Green crayons matter. Except for black and brown. But every other crayon matters.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And what we're going to do here, I want to go into a little bit of detail. And I want you to understand what it sounds like when you have true advocates, what it sounds like when you have fake ones, so that you have a bird's eye view of exactly what it is. And furthermore, that it's not new. You see, we don't just keep receipts, we keep invoices. We don't just tell you what you paid, we tell you what you owe. And as Black people, I want you to understand that we are going to need to identify them from the beginning, and notice they got long
Money
tails
music.
on them.
Where money
Long
music at?
tails.
Money
Now-
music at?
What I want to do for you
Money
here
Music,
is
gang,
I want to
gang.
go over
What's
a
up, gang?
phone call that came in last night. For those of you who didn't join us last
Oh, yeah,
night
we back
or you
now.
didn't hear the
It's
program,
official. Money
we
Music in the
had
building.
a Donald Trump MAGA
Look
caller
who's
call
back again. I
in,
know, right?
and he thought he was
I
going
be
to catch
coming
some
back for a
black
month.
folks,
I leave
you
for
know,
3
coon
months.
dancing,
Cause,
and
man,
figured he was going
you
to
know
be
my
here to
situation.
sell us on the
This shit
evils
real
of Joe
out here.
Biden and the virtues
This
of
shit
Donald
real. Yeah.
and it didn't
Money
go
Music,
quite
please
the
done.
way he would have
Not
expected.
yet, please. Shout
What
out.
I'm going to do for you here, we're going to play
Danny
that
Vlog, what you
call,
talking about?
and I want you to
What you want, shout out?
understand. I'm going to point it out so you can see the
You want,
critical
shout out?
differences and why it is that you've got
Good to
your
see you again, brother.
black class
You
and then you've
already
got
know.
your backstabbing
I had to come
advocate
back
class.
to YouTube. That's the only reason why I came back, was because of the
And
people,
see
really.
exactly what the
I'm not
differences sound like
emotionally
here.
attached to no
I'm going to go ahead and start playing
technology
this
or
phone call
applications.
and listen
Right.
to the way
But
in
the
which
people,
it went down.
Money Music, Gabby,
Because that's what I'm waiting on.
Lulu.
Let me get caller from area code
And it's only gonna
217.
get
You're on
better. It's
live with the
only up
Black
from here,
Channel.
'cause,
What's
you
your
know,
name? Where you
tomorrow's
calling
gonna be
from?
like 1,000 people in here.
Yes, sir. My name is Josh. I'm
I
calling
get
from
this
East
shit like
Central Illinois.
1 to 2 weeks.
Josh
before
from
I
East
have
Central
1,000
Illinois. What's on your
people.
mind?
All this nonsense. I think that Biden is a useless person, and he's obviously deteriorated with age. And I know what Kamala Harris did to get her position in politics out there in California. So now, at this point,
Kamala Harris definitely is.
this is where we
getting
question the
bust
sanity
down.
of people who vote.
Somebody is busting
And you
Kamala
go back
Harris'
to
ass, like-
Socrates and his problem with democracy is
Okay, let me find out. All right, now, first of all, I'm stopping you right here so you can understand something. First thing I did was I demonstrated to you all what it sounds like to be on code. When I realized that this was not a black person talking, when he starts putting down black folk, the ignorance of the voter and this, that, and the other, first thing I did was get on code, because you can't go on white media. You can't go in white circles. You can't go in Jewish circles. You can't go in Asian circles and start condescending and insulting their group. And then they just sit here and let you keep on going. They put the brakes on. So the first thing I did was put the brakes on and immediately got on code. It's like, wait a minute. You don't have standing to speak like that. You don't have standing to speak that way. You don't have the ability to do that. So the first thing I did was get on code and put the brakes to it. Let me find out here, sir. Are you a black voter?
Yes, sir. Am I a black voter?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking if I'm a black person?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. Now, you notice, first of all, I said, were you a black voter? I meant what I said. He was the one who gravitated to race, and I said, okay, if he wants to go there, perfectly fine, he can do that. First thing I asked, well, are you a black voter? Are you asking, am I a black person? Okay. He's already tipping his hand. I got on code, so it forced him to respond under the code that he serves under. That's what it forced him to do. Now he's on his guard. Now he's off balance. Now he's worried where it's going to go. Let me find out here. Who did you support in the last election?
Josette.
Trump, for
Why?
the most part.
Why?
I didn't
Face
like
reveal.
either of them.
Right, but
Voila.
why support Trump? There were a bunch of other people running for president.
not a computer.
Why Trump?
In the Republican
Josette.
Party, there was
Gotta make
nobody
you a
else but
moderator.
Trump. In the Democratic Party, that was pretty much a clown show.
Now, he told you that he didn't support either of them right before telling you that he supported Trump. Then he's going to give you a bunch of reasons why he supported Trump, even though he just told you he didn't support either one of them. So understand the tricky,
watch
devious,
this, cousin.
deceitful
Watch this.
language that they
Watch this.
implement at every
I got a
turn.
surprise, cousin.
Recognize it.
I got a surprise for you, cousin.
And the
Watch this.
Republican Party is not equally clownish.
No.
Okay.
There was only, no,
Let
they
me-
all supported Trump.
Well, let me ask Now, he just told you that he didn't support either one of them. The Democrats are too clownish. The Republicans are not equally clownish. Nope. You're contradicting yourself.
Let's go, money.
You're
Music in the
contradicting
fucking
yourself.
building.
The
Gang,
Republican
shit.
Party, there was nobody else but
boy got
Trump.
10K.
And the Democratic Party, that was pretty much a clown
My
show.
nigga got 10K on the
And the
block.
Republican Party is not equally clownish.
I'm about to finesse this.
No.
This is the finesse.
There was
Okay.
only, no,
Let
they
me-
all supported Trump.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why should a black person vote for Trump?
Why should a black person vote for Trump in comparison to Biden?
No, sir, on Trump's
Or
own
just in general?
on Trump's own merits, because when you vote for somebody, you are voting to put that into place. You can vote for anyone but Biden and not have to vote for Trump. So just because you don't vote for Trump doesn't mean you have to vote for Biden. You can vote for somebody else. Now, this is what it sounds like when you are serving black people's interests. I don't back either candidate. I don't defend either candidate. I defend black people's interests. I don't defend either candidate. Neither
Money
one.
music. Money music.
I don't support either candidate. I'm not defending either one of them. Neither. I'm defending my people's interests. He thinks he's being too slick by half and he's going to make an end run and show us that he can get around that and support it. No, he's going to subtly, indirectly trick us into doing that. No, not going to work that way. Not going to work that way. But he thought he was slick enough to pull that off and very quickly ran into code. This is what it sounds like. This is the way you talk when you are advocating for black people's interests. You don't defend a political party. Let the political party defend themselves. We don't have to defend them. We only have to defend our interests. You let them defend themselves. That's the way that works. Let them defend themselves. We'll defend us. So if you're voting for Trump,
Okay.
you're voting to get Trump and his policies. So can you explain to us, from your perspective, what about Trump's policies would a black person want to vote for?
Why should a black person vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I'm saying what policy? If you're voting for Trump, you're also voting for his policies. So what policy would a black person want to vote in?
Well, his really hard stance on illegal immigration has driven down illegal occupants coming across the border. He's actually sent a few of them away, which led the lower tier members of our society, I'm not necessarily saying black, white, or Hispanic or whatever.
Oh, just that quickly he had to get to it. Just that quickly he had to get to it and say exactly what he was thinking. Lower tiers of our society. Lower tiers.
Pretty saucy?
Just that
Oh, pretty fucking
fast.
saucy.
Just a little bit. Just
Pretty
a little
saucy?
bit.
What?
Didn't take a whole lot.
Pretty
Just
saucy.
a
what?
little bit.
Hi, babe.
That's all.
Pretty saucy.
Once you let him know that you're not going to be a
Hey,
manipulated
saucy.
puppet, then the real thing starts coming out. He starts showing that he's up here and you're down here.
Pretty saucy.
He's up here and you're down there. Just that quickly, he wants to show you, yeah, he came here with an agenda, but that's all right. He came to the right place. But understand, they don't have the vocabulary. If you actually sit there and question them, understand, if you're not already cooning, then what they're saying is not going to satisfy you. This stuff is so blatant. This is only going to work if you're already a coon. See, this works on bed wenches. This works on coons. This works on stepping fetches. This works on sambos. This does not work for legitimate black people. This doesn't work on us. The moment you say that, and you step wrong. You step wrong. Just that quickly.
But they've actually been granted jobs in that time frame.
Lower tiers. Tell me more.
Yes, sir.
Lower tiers of our society.
Yes.
Please go ahead and enlighten us about these lower tiers.
Lower tiers are people who dropped out of school in middle school. Once again, it's not a racial thing. A bunch of people dropped out of school a long time before they graduated. But there are people in our society, no matter where you go, that do not know how to read.
Wow.
Do we disagree on that?
No, we don't disagree on that. But do you also do you disagree that white people, no matter whether they are high school dropouts, white folk who are high school dropouts make more money than black people with college degrees?
Damn,
so
nigga, what the fuck?
That's not.
Who told you that?
Sir, that's not, sir, that's called the census. Were you not aware of the fact that white people who have a high school, you know this, here's the next thing, and understand, we have the wisdom of the ages. We have our immortal ancestors' wisdom to fall back on. He's not that dumb. But you notice he did not present proof that anything I said was wrong. What he said was, where'd you get that from? He tries to rebut with a question, not with proof. No proof, no anything. It's just, where'd you get that from? So now you're trying to play dumb about it. But remember, white supremacists address your statements with questions, not because they have proof that it's not true, but they're testing it to see how much you know. How deep does this really go? How solid is your belief? Can we make you doubt it? Because if we can do that, then now we got an angle. Now we got an angle if we can get you to doubt it. So now they just want to check and see how solid is your base of information that you're using.
Out of school a long time before they graduated. But there are people in our society, no matter where you go, that do not know how to read.
Hoje é meu aniversário.
Do we disagree on that?
No, we don't disagree on that. But do you disagree that white people, no matter whether they are high school dropouts, white folk who are high school dropouts make more money than black people with college degrees? So that's not.
Who told you that?
Sir, that's not, sir, that's called the census.
Who told you that?
Were you not aware of the fact that
believe
white people who have a high school diploma make equal amounts of money as black people who've been to college? So notice when I say that, his response is, who told you that? Well, who told you that? How'd you hear that? Why do you believe that? Who told you that? He didn't say, here's my proof that it's not true. It was, who told you that? Where'd you hear that? How did you come to that conclusion? Not because he doesn't know it's true, but remember, white supremacy is its camouflage is playing dumb. That white supremacy is everywhere around you, but that you maintain its presence by pretending it isn't there. And they're used to black folk doing old black is done and playing along with them, off into intellectualizing it and blossoming. You're all pretending that you do not see it and you're not getting point. Now understand, I don't have a problem with white callers, me, white, anybody. I'm open to all everyone free call and it's perfectly fine. But understand something. When you come with an agenda, it's not dead black. If you call it an agenda, that is when you get those in very order. That's what the wealth gap, sir, is because when you take black people who are equally qualified or making 25 to 50% more strata or right above it. That's the whole thing about the wealth gap. If you have not investigated the wealth gap, this might be a moment for you to make Google your friend, sir. Because this is, we're not even going to get into the details of this, sir. That's what the whole wealth gap debate is about, is that white folk are always getting more.
True, though.
Sir, it's not about what you think. This is a Google issue. We're not going to, my time is, our time is limited, sir. Now, you notice there, he tries to hit me with his opinion. Well, I don't think that's true. Now, he's used to dealing with black folk who, if a white person says something, if a white person disputes it simply on the strength that they're refusing to agree with you, you're supposed to back down. You're supposed to change up. You're supposed to vacillate. You're supposed to move. You're supposed to compromise, not because he actually showed you proof to the contrary, but simply because I'm white and I say so. And you're supposed to move. He's used to it. At no time did he say, that's not true. Here's my proof. He said, I don't think so. I don't feel that. Where'd you hear that? If they're used to dealing with black people who compromise, the second that a white person says, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Not so sure about that. Just on the strength of that. That's where you're at here. They're used to a different response. Our time is limited, but if what you're going to say right now is that you deny, if you're going to say that you deny the existence of a wealth gap, then there's nothing else to talk about.
You can't demonize a race.
Sir, I'm demonizing white supremacy. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, that's not a real thing.
So white supremacy does not exist.
That's not an actual thing that's formidable in our society.
Now you got black folk who say that. There it is. He finally came out and said it. When I got down to the issue, and you see I got down to the issue in very short order, we're here to fight white supremacy. That's not a real thing. Ain't no white supremacy. Playing dumb didn't work. Playing dumb did not work. And I cut through it. I didn't try to philosophize. I didn't try to tell them how we the tribe of Judah. I got down. We're here to fight white supremacy. That's our agenda. Ain't no white supremacy. So he went from denying that there's a wealth gap. So what you're saying is you're voting for Trump because black folk ain't got no problems. Denied the wealth gap. And then when I got to white supremacy, ain't no white supremacy. So now you've gotten right to it. Now you've gotten right to it. You've gotten right to the bare bones now. Now you've gotten down to what it's really about. That's where we really are now. When I hit him with, it's time for you want us, you called us up because you think you're on the same page with us. All right. We're here to fight white supremacy. No, ain't no white supremacy. So understand something. In American society, they are perfectly fine to so long as black empowerment does not infringe on white supremacy. You can have black power so long as white is supreme. That's it. They'll agree with you. As soon as you say, nope, your supremacy got to go. Wait now. No. Ain't no white supremacy now. Ain't no white supremacy. Don't come in. Ain't no such thing. Ain't nothing like that. Now, if what he said was true, then explain to me why he said this next. And sir, this right here, I want to say this is a shining example right here of why when black people get together, We simply cannot, under any circumstances, allow white people to get the microphone and speak. Because the first thing they're going to do in that group full of black folk is steer the discussion towards their interests and what they want in total denial of reality. Sir, if you deny, sir, if you deny the existence of white supremacy, sir, if you want us to stand down and not fight white supremacy and leave the status quo in place, and that will not happen.
I do not want that, and I never said I wanted that.
If you're not going to fight white supremacy, then you're defending the status quo. White supremacy is the status quo. Period. White supremacy is the status quo. That is what it is right now. Let me be very, very clear from around the world. Let me say this in no uncertain terms. White supremacy conquered 1,000 years ago. There really isn't any need for, quote, further legislation because the political apparatus put in all of the ultra oppressive laws that they required from day one. They did it hundreds of years before any of us were. We need to level this reality. We need to end reality. The reality of the situation is that this is a place, you're living in a world that was constructed under white supremacy. It was constructed there. All the mechanisms are already in place. That serve them are already in place. The legal mechanisms, all the rules, all the practices, they're already in place. They're already in place. They're already built. We're not fighting to stop them from building the white supremacist apparatus. That is already up and going. That is already there and already up and going. It's already constructed and solidified. So we're not discussing that. We're not discussing stopping them from building it, stopping them from implementing a law that allows them to deny our humanity. Those laws are already in place. Those laws are already in place. The structures are already in place. They've already got the laws and the hardware and the infrastructure with which to carry out the oppressive system in which we live. This isn't a matter of stopping them from getting to that point. They were at that point hundreds of years ago. They've only been refining the tools with which they continue to utilize it, but it's already there. The reason that we call it white supremacy is because it's already in place. It's not speculative. It's not prospective. It's not something that they're working on. It's not something that, well, if we give them another 50 years, we really gonna be in trouble. No, we're in full trouble now. When Trayvon Martin was killed, I was the first person to tell black folk were like, man, this is why every black person got to carry a cell phone with them and get it on camera so that you can see what's happening. I said, man, if every black person had video of every assault that happened to us at the hands of white supremacists, nothing would change except now you can see yourself get murdered in high definition. And sure enough, after that, started seeing black folk get killed in high definition. It didn't stop what they were doing. Why? Because the rules were already in place. That's the point. So I addressed the white supremacist system as what it is, something already in place. He went to work to convince you ain't no white supremacy. Why? Because if you can convince somebody that there is no white supremacy, then of course they won't be fighting it. They'll be fighting something else. Well, Jason, what is the something else? They'll be fighting for LGBT. They'll be fighting for feminism. They'll be fighting for classism. They'll be fighting for climate change. They'll be fighting for student loans, which is what they're currently trying to get us to do. They'll be fighting for health care. What the hell is it good to have health care if they kill you? What good is a health care plan if you're dead? But if they can convince you that there isn't white supremacy, then they have achieved their goal of getting you to fight everything except the one thing that matters. That's the whole point of doing that. If we can get you there and get you to ignore the real issue, then we've already got you where we want you to be. That's what they're playing.
No, I'm saying white supremacy is not. I mean, yeah, kill white supremacists, kill all the Nazis, kill all the KKK
sir.
guys. Yeah,
No, sir. White supremacy is the systemic practice of denying black people resources along racial lines. All right, I hope you all are paying attention here. When I said that we are fighting white supremacy, he immediately stepped in and attempted the same old routine playbook. He then wanted to step in and define for me, define for us what white supremacy is. Did you see that? When I told him that we're here to fight white supremacy, he then stepped in and say, okay, I will define what it is for you. And so he defined it in the most extreme terms. Sure, kill the white supremacists, kill the KKK, kill the Nazis. You see, they're willing to let you take some pawns off the board. You don't understand the level that they're playing at here. They're willing, if you define white supremacy in only the most extreme terms, well, they're willing to let those pawns get knocked off the board because those pawns are too crude and unsophisticated. They make it too easy to target white supremacy. They make the system too blatant. So they have no problem with you cleaning up the crude, unrefined, brutish barbarians. They have no problem allowing you to do that. They have no problem saying it. They'll even sit there and be with you. Yeah, Nazis and KKK, sure, no problem. Knock all of them off. What you didn't understand is, no. You're not going to define it. White supremacy is a system. It is not some extremist figureheads. It is not some extremist individuals. White supremacy is a system. Now, you notice he said, okay, down with white supremacy, yeah, get rid of the white supremacists, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I defined what white supremacy is, all of a sudden, he didn't agree with me anymore. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to get rid of white supremacy. Once I say, no, I'm defining for you that it's a system, not some extremist individuals. Take a look at how he spun. When I said, no, you're not going to define it, I will tell you what white supremacy is, and then you can assist me with dismantling that. Oh.
No, I'm saying white supremacy is not. I mean, yeah, kill white supremacists, kill all the Nazis, kill all the KKK
sir.
Yeah,
no, sir. White supremacy is the systemic practice of denying black people resources along racial lines.
Protocol that you can point out in any respectable institution.
Okay, sir. All right. Now you see what his reaction was. Once again, when I said this is the agenda, he starts questioning me about the agenda. He starts, just like he did before, when I explained what it was that we're here to do, he starts questioning me. He starts questioning supremacists, sir, and dismantling white supremacy. As soon as I said it's a system, he's like, wait a minute. Well, what do you mean by it's a system? What are you referring to? What part of this society are you going at? Sir, either you support white supremacy or you don't. Why is it that when I said supremacy is a system, all of a sudden, wait a minute, I need more information? I want to hear exactly how far you're going to go into this before you begin attacking the system. Because he was going to tell us that white supremacy is a bunch of extremists dressing up in uniforms. You can go after them. I said, oh, no. We're going after the system. Wait now. Whoa. What you mean you going after the system now? Because I eat off this system that gives me my unearned benefits and privileges. What do you mean, system? No, sir. No, sir. White supremacy is the systemic practice of denying black people resources along racial lines.
So, is there an actual systemic protocol that you can point out in any respectable institution?
Okay, sir, can you show me any avenue or aspect of this society where white people are not routinely gaining more benefits and doing better than where black people are doing better than white people? Can you show me one aspect of our society where black people are exceeding above white people? Anywhere, anything.
I could be sarcastic at this point, but I'm not going to because.
Okay, but sir, if white supremacists, no, sir, no. So once again, the white supremacy is peeking out there, and he tells you, well, athletics, those well-paid employees of professional sports. That's all he can say. He can't name anywhere in this society white supremacy doesn't exist, and yet black people are not excelling over white people at anything. But yet white supremacy doesn't exist, supposedly. And all he can say is sports, which is symbolic. That's all he can say. No, sir, that's not true either, because who owns the athletic organizations?
A handful of people, but I'm saying
okay,
white
men. White men own it. Let's not do that. It's not a handful. They're not individuals. They're
Chinese men.
Sir, you can't compare the number of white folks to the number of non-white people. You can't compare them. You can count. You can.
When it comes to sports.
Yes, you can literally put the non-white owners in a taxi cab and drive them anywhere you want to take them. Thank you, Dr. Claude Anderson. Once again, he tries to play dumb. People, it's not that they don't know. They're testing to see how solid your information is. But it's not because he thinks that the number of non-white sports owners is equivalent to the white ones. He doesn't believe that. He's just throwing it out there to see how solid your resolve is. How much is your information really that solid? Really? Or is it something that can be just by questioning it or a single statement? So, sir, if you do not, the best is symbolic. You can name any aspect of our society anywhere where black people are exceeding above white folk. So if white supremacy is not real, why is it we can't name anywhere where black are exceeding them?
Do you want to hear a really weird
sir, I asked a question. No, you won't hear anything like that from Bowling Ball Martin. But notice I didn't let him dance around it. When I hit him with the questions like, no, address what I said. If you're going to try to dispute it, address what I said. Every time I said something, he either asks a question or he tries to sidestep it. No, we're pinning you down. Address what I just said. Folk are exceeding them.
Do you want to hear a really weird...
Sir, I asked a question. Will you address the question? If white supremacy does not exist, then why can't show...
Black people are you kidding me? In America, That's
Yes.
a huge market. Like that. There's
Sir, name
growing
it.
every
Name
day.
it. No. Name me the area of American society where black people are more prosperous than white folk.
Are you talking about a particular economic growth?
We can talk about economics. We can talk about education. We can talk about
No,
debt.
no.
We can talk
what are you
about
talking
wealth.
about? What are you talking
We can
about?
talk about politics.
Economic growth.
Okay, sir. White
Okay,
people. Sir,
economic growth.
black people do not control the politics of white neighborhoods. That's not economic.
I don't want it to be that way.
But it is.
Nobody normal wants it to be that way.
Okay, why? Now, didn't he just say that white supremacy didn't exist? Didn't he just question that that it was a part of a system? Didn't he just dispute that right before he acknowledges, well, I mean, I don't want it to be that way. I don't want it like that. I don't want it to be that way.
Yo, this nigga is a goof.
I don't want it to be that way. Right after he
He's
just
way too
told
fucking
you
much.
that it didn't exist.
Right.
Right after he just said that,
Straight contradiction.
then it doesn't exist.
Right. Caught his ass.
Well, I don't want it to be that way. You don't want it to be what way? The way that it is in this white supremacist system that you said didn't exist? Is
Okay,
it that?
but that's what
But
I'm
why
saying.
is it that way? Why is it
got
that
it.
way?
Yo, stop flirting,
Why
cousin.
is it that way?
I'll
Because
block you,
black
yo.
people vote Democrat a lot.
Yo,
Okay,
high
who
ass
controls writing
high
the
ass
districting lines?
don't.
Okay,
And the
Damn,
state
nigga.
manager
What the fuck?
and you say
and
that
20
Now I'm
other
gonna block you with
now
your
let's
fucking.
be very
channel
clear,
still up.
folks. White people didn't. Black people didn't even have the right
High ass,
to
stop flirting,
vote
dog.
unimpeded until the
Every
last
time I go to
40,
promote
50
somebody,
years.
they start flooding and shit. Like,
White people have
Getting all excited.
always controlled the politics in black neighborhoods since the beginning of the nation. That's not something that just happened in the 20th century. They have, understand some people, let's be very clear. They have controlled the politics in our neighborhoods since Jamestown. They didn't just wake up in the 20th or 21st century with control of the politics of black neighborhoods. Why do you think you had to have black gangsters? Because white folk have always controlled the politics in our communities. Since the horse and buggy days, since before the Civil War. They've always controlled it. Before black people, when black people were voting Republican because of Lincoln, they were controlling the politics of our communities then. This ain't about voting for Democrats. They've always controlled the politics of our community. We've never controlled the politics of theirs. Control the politics of theirs. So just understand, don't be fooled by the language that you might be hearing there. They have had control of our politics since before voting for Democrats
what the
among
fuck,
black
yo?
people was a common practice.
I'm yo.
Voting for Democrats was not a strategy, it was a
I'm
reaction.
wrapped out with this nigga.
They have always controlled it no matter who was in party. No matter who it was. Don't be deceived about it. Don't be deceived. And you say that black people vote Democrat. More black people started voting for Trump, and what do we get for that?
More black people voted for Trump, yes, but that doesn't mean that the majority of black people
Okay,
voted
but
for Trump.
okay, does that mean
In the cities.
so would you have to the majority of black folk have to vote for Trump? Well, that's not a good metric to use because
No, I don't
even
care
among
about
white
Trump.
folk you can't
You're-
get that. The majority of Jewish people don't vote for a particular political party.
Mastery. Hey, Mastery.
So don't let somebody tell you that
One,
the
2, 3.
majority of black
Face
folk
reveal.
have to do it.
Boom. That's for you, Mastery. Mastery High Gaming. That's my day one.
You see how he tried that one.
Mastery High game and that's cis and that's gang. Let me see.
The majority of
Basketball.
Asians don't vote for one political party.
I thought I had John.
Don't let anybody sit up here and tell you, well, if the majority of you or if all of you would do X, Y, Z, these other groups don't do that. These other groups don't do that. When the majority of white women supported Donald Trump 4 years ago, did you hear the Democrats say, well, we ain't gonna do nothing for white women because you voted for Trump? Did you see that? So once again, when they talk to us, they use different language. They don't talk to us the way they do to other white people. They don't talk to us like that because they want to see if they can get by doing something different. Cognizant where they are a tricky group.
You have this and you think he's a Republican. I think he's a kind of crazy Democrat that leaned right for the election just to get pulled.
Yes, but it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you think that Trump is the cow jumping over the moon. The real thing is black people's agenda is to dismantle white supremacy. We don't. Not in step
and
with. If you're not in step with that, they don't have anything.
I guarantee that.
Then you know that when I circle back to we have to destroy white supremacy, he goes off in a different direction. Why? Because everybody is fine discussing black empowerment right up until we see and it is essential that you dismantle white supremacy. But for white people who understand that they have gotten unearned benefits, to white people who understand that they've gotten unearned privileges, they understand they need a system that is unfair, unjust, and gives them preferential treatment.
Nolans.
And that a key component of maintaining that system is to deny its existence. If you want to have a system of white supremacy, you must first deny that it exists. Because if you acknowledge it exists, then you are giving the people you are oppressing a concrete object that they can go after. You're giving them a concrete on. So you must pretend that white supremacy doesn't exist, and you must deny it. You must deny its existence. Now, when you talk to a white supremacist, that's the manner in which you speak. When you are being a true, sincere, effective advocate for black people. That is the way in which you speak when you confront a white supremacist. Now, when you are an insincere, dishonest, phony advocate for black people, things sound a little different. Things go a little bit differently. The language shifts up. You don't quite talk the way that we do over it. When you're a backstabbing advocate, you don't talk like we do when you're sitting face to face with a white supremacist. The conversation and the discussion goes in a different direction. Case in point, when Roland Martin spoke to Richard Spencer, the conversation went in a whole other direction, and Roland took it there. Richard Spencer wanted to discuss white supremacy. Roland wanted to discuss anything but. And black empowerment was nowhere on the agenda. For those of you who never heard this before, but if you listen to the Black Channel, you've heard this several times. But a refresher here for everyone and any new people. When Roland Martin spoke to Richard Spencer wanted to discuss race and white supremacy. And when he confronted Roland with it, well, if you thought Roland was going to respond the way I did, you thought wrong.
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
what's that identity?
Race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
Identify as a man. No, actually, it's not sexist because if a person is a woman, identifies as a woman. Okay. So I'm a man. I'm a Christian. Are you a Christian?
I'm a cultural Christian, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well,
So Roland takes us down the yellow brick road of discussing Christianity. When he was confronted by the preeminent white supremacist of our time, Richard Spencer, his response was to say, I'm a
What the fuck?
That was how Roland responded.
Yeah.
When Richard hit him right between the eyes, man. I hear.
Oh my God.
They don't talk like us. They don't respond to things like us.
Yo, my shit on 16%.
Roland was more than willing to deny existence. And he let you know in the face of Richard Spencer, he was going to tell you what he's lying on.
Shit, man.
That blackness is not the foundation of anything for Roland. Richard Spencer said that was a foundational key element for him. Race is a critical foundational key. When you say it like that, don't sound nothing like us.
I'm back again. I'm back.
You see, the backstabbing advocate class has made it very, very clear that black people are a problem. And that they really want us to stop this black discussion. Why? Because they've all been hijacked and co-opted. They're all paid off. They're all paid off by the very people that we're supposedly going to war against.
If they only knew what I was listening to here,
they're all paid off. They're not ignorant now.
You know what? I can drive and stream right now, can I, cousin?
And what they want to see is if there are enough of us who are scared. You see, Roland understands if you rely on religion, your religion is supposed to trump everything. Let me explain something to you. For those of you who are not familiar with Mao Tse-tung, for those of you who are not familiar with communism,
Jose,
one of the first
shout out to
acts
Jose
of any communist regime is to expel the religious institutions.
Set in her bag right now.
That is the first act of a communist regime, of a totalitarian regime. First thing a totalitarian regime has to do is then has to get rid of the religious institutions and really wipe out the religions if you can. Why? For the same reason that totalitarian governments and regimes have done so throughout history. Because when a person has a religion, when a person acknowledges an almighty deity, what that person is saying is that I bow to something higher than the state. I have a higher loyalty than the state. My highest loyalty is not to the state. It is not to communism. It's not to Chairman Mao. It is not to Chancellor Hitler. It is to my deity. So you see, I will go along with the state and the state's rules so long as those rules do not come into conflict with my religion. Well, if religion trumps government,
we'll see.
Then religion
we just,
is also supposed to trump racial identity, even if racial identity controls the world.
Go around me, cousin.
So when you heard Roland sit there and say, first of all, I'm a man, I'm a Christian,
ain't nobody
he was hoping that would resonate to black people and say your race doesn't matter. He makes his money saying he speaks for black people. But when the rubber hit the road and it was time for him to confront the white supremacists, race was the first thing that he got rid of completely.
I might go pick up somebody. Oh, let's pray.
He wanted to remove race from the conversation.
My cousin. Yo, I'm gonna prank my cousin today on live.
And he was hoping that would make enough black people bow down and cower down.
I'm gonna do
that
it right
the rest of you need to understand our race isn't important. Now, when it comes to political party, Roland Martin is the most militant nigga you ever met. You all have never heard Roland Martin stick up for
I'm gonna prank some random people,
black people, the way he has for the Democrat Party.
I might get shot, cousin.
You've never heard him and your phony ass old black media class stick up and stomp for black people the way they have for Democrats. For the Democratic Party, you are worthless. You are no good. You are subhuman if you don't support them. He is quick to let you know that you have lost all value as a person if you don't support the Democrat Party. But when it comes to white supremacy and race don't matter. So political party affiliation matters, but race doesn't.
Shalom.
And he simply uses race as the tool to facilitate that. Now you see that your black political class engages in the same bait and switch sleight of hand. They all engage in the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. That's what they do.
Gabby.
You're backstabbing advocates. No wonder the black media ain't brought home the bacon until the new black media showed up, because the old black media was waiting in the wings to stab you in the back. They're not doing anything. They are the propagandists and the spokespeople for the very white supremacist forces we've been fighting. And their job is to make it popular among black people to not insist on our interests being served. Those are your backstabbing advocates.
My shit on 10%.
That's what they do. That's what they've always done.
How long we was live for? An hour and a half?
Now it has gotten very desperate for them.
Not bad. An hour and a half.
Very, very desperate.
Gang. Yeah, I'm gonna try my
laptop. And it's very desperate because they see that we've reached a critical mass of the black electorate that is now starting to ask serious questions and say, you know what? We need an agenda that serves us, not an agenda that serves you, and certainly not an agenda that serves your paymasters.
Where's the link of new music? I know, right?
We're going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code
Gabby, I'm
to
gonna
the
find some
Black
new music,
Channel. I want to go ahead and take your phone calls here. Anyone who was told in the chat room that you need to call in, you need to be on the line, or you will be banned. Simple as that. But the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933.
Where is my new music, or where is
We're discussing about backstabbing advocates.
Because I gotta find
your so-called advocates, they're phony
that
advocates because they're here to sell you out.
I gotta get my life.
They're here to preach about your interests, gather you all together, get you energized, mobilized, and say the only way you can support your interests is to support this or that political party. Understand something. Voters are not supposed to support a political party. The political party is supposed to cater to the voter. The voters aren't supposed to. See, they got us all screwed up and backwards. They got black folk trying to cater to the Democrats instead of making sure the Democrats cater to us.
How about that?
That's the way that's supposed to work. It works that way for everybody else.
Right.
But our advocates, the phony advocates who have perfected their profession of stabbing us in the back, keep telling us, no, that's not what you need to do.
Right.
You need to make the Democrats happy with you.
How about that? Ain't that a bitch?
You need to make it happen with you. Roland wasn't playing. He said, y'all just need to shut up. Y'all just need to shut up. Just be quiet.
This is outrageous.
Do as you're told.
Familia
Don't make any waves.
Familia de Estrada. What's up, cousin?
Just do what we say.
Gang, gang, gang shit.
That's what you need to do. Just do what we tell you.
La familia de Estrada.
We're going to go ahead and open the telephone lines here now and take your calls here. Before we do, of course, I would like to thank everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs. Thank you very much for doing that. Jada, thank you very much for your help on that. I appreciate that. My man Ryan is always crazy. Brian, we appreciate you checking in with us here every week. And to everyone, I'm going to thank you all personally for doing that. Let me go ahead and get caller from area code 612. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Gabby, what link?
Hey Jason, this is Josh Bong from Minnesota. So I just want to first of all want to thank you very much for the great work that you are doing. It's creating an impact not only in the US but globally. Thanks very much. And I'm an ardent follower of B1. I have I'm working extremely hard to be a force multiplier of your channel. I have something an observation that I have to make. One, if you are a B1 follower, you should be from a global perspective. I always go hard on migrants.
Hey, bro. Woo, let's go. Let's go.
You can't face the bitter reality of the fact that when people like you say that if you come into this country, take your time, study the system, align with our people here. It is a painful truth that we must have to for our own global survival. Secondly, if we don't do that in the US, stay quiet. The next thing is this, because if you can't see the bitter reality, no matter how we pretend, we will never fix Africa. If we can say the truth boldly and blatantly and see what it is, because the actual can call the actual lenses to see it is here in the United States of America. If you can't focus and see it for what it is, stay and understand what people like you are saying about it, not just from a piecemeal perspective, but from a global perspective. If you refuse that reality in America, you will never fix Africa. If you can't accept that reality of what it is, align with the brothers and work with them, you can be able to create a rift we need to see in Africa. And if we cannot overcome all our little differences and align with our brothers in this country,
Marianne
No
Blogs in
matter
the
how hard
building.
we work, we
Apo.
will not fix it because we look at it with better perspective. This is the place where we can see what plays on a global level
Marianne
and how
Vlog.
they operate. So we will be fooling ourselves because we can't align with our people here and see exactly for what it is. No matter when we dodge away, we create a solution that works. If you refuse to see the truth.
Well, you make a very good point, which is that as Black people, and this goes back to our backstabbing political class here, our backstabbing advocate class. As Black people, and I pointed this out weeks ago here and whatnot, I'm not at war with Killer Mike. There are things that I disagree with. I think that Killer Mike and I have the same goal, at least I certainly hope so. The only thing that we are at odds about is how to achieve it. But I'm not here to take down Killer Mike. I'm not here to take down T.I. I think that we have the same goal as T.I. The only thing that we are at odds about is how to achieve it, the method to achieve it, whether or not we're on the right track. They are not on the right track. I think they want it, but they're not on the right track. That's all. But I'm not here to take them down. Understand, that's the way it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be completely agnostic when it comes to our interests, when it comes to other Black people. We're supposed to be completely agnostic. The only thing we have to insist on is, do you want Black empowerment? That's it. That's the only thing we have to agree on. And then your actions need to back up your words. Now, we can disagree about methodologies, but that's what this is supposed to be for. We are supposed to have an open discussion.
Nice.
We're supposed to have an open debate. Sometimes it'll get loud and raucous, but that's what it's supposed to be. And when you're adults, you understand that. Now, we don't want to become name calling if we can avoid that, because some folks are sensitive, so we get that. But at the same time, we need to understand, as long as we have the same interests. Now, if we're dealing with somebody who doesn't have our interests at heart, now we got a different matter. When we're talking about Black empowerment, and then someone comes in the room talking about, yeah, we need to see about Black empowerment. But first, we also need to take care of LGBT and immigrants. No, okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's where we get in trouble. George, thank you very much for checking in with us, your brothers. Good to hear from you. Please give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 617. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Nasir, Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, Nasir in Boston. What's on your mind?
Yeah, this is when it comes to the MAGA column. This is why allowing Caucasians or non-Black individuals alike to have any type of ascendancy when it comes to empowerment is socio-political suicide for Black society. It's an economic suicide for Black society. And when intelligent Black people see these belly-crawling traitors with a white partner or a white financial backer or a white spokesperson, we need to stay vigilant. And it just makes me think, brother, how many Black folks are out here buck dancing for him to have the audacity and the comfortability to put the whole kill Nazis, kill Ku Klux Klan, kill slave owners type thing. Because how at this juncture do Black folk not see that white supremacists will sacrifice the outward extremists to maintain a covert and camouflage systematic approach of white supremacy? And one last thing, when it comes to Roland Martin screaming B3, you know, he's got everything before being Black. As a Muslim brother, Black empowerment's in the agenda of my religion. I can't be a coward. I can't let someone smack me in the face without defending myself. So that's not an excuse for any real Black person, because anti-Black racism is worldwide. So if I'm putting other things first, I've had racism from Muslims, even though it's not permitted in our religion. I've had racism from all different walks of life put towards me. So that's no excuse. Religion is not an excuse.
Well, definitely understand something. People, Dr. John Henry Clark talks about this as well. People use their religion to reinforce that which they already believe and feel. So if you're a coward, you will read the Bible and take cowardice out of it. You'll read the Quran and take cowardice out of it. You'll read any religious text. The religion will reinforce what you believe already. If you're a coward, you will take it and reinforce that. If you're strident, you will reinforce that. If you're intelligent, you'll reinforce that. If you're reinforce that. So when you see folk invoking religion to protect cowardice, that's letting you know they're just enforcing what they already believe. Thank you very much for this call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 407. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, Jason? This Cal out of Jacksonville, Florida, from St. Louis.
Cal from Jacksonville. What's on your mind?
Hey, first of all, I want to say I revere your intelligence, man. Every day, every week, you have something for the program. But what I find is I'm a descendant of American slaves, as most of the people who listen to the program. But when I speak to them, they try to pretend like they don't understand how white supremacy operates, even though they've had like history lessons on how white people have victimized Black Americans from the crack era, from leaving the plantation, with Ronald Reagan. And I just wanted to know, what do you think, especially listen to that Trump party? That Trump supporter sounds like he's age. So I'm 31. He sounds like he's around my age, and I've heard a lot of men my age, white guys, talk like him. So when I see Black people, they act like they didn't have like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Well, brother, we're a little short on time here. So to all my callers, let's please try to be as brief as we can. What exactly was the question to ask?
What I was wondering is, why is there disconnect there with Black Americans pretending they don't understand how white society operates as a whole versus us as like the minority of
because as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing taught us, white supremacy plays dumb and Black people play dumb along with them because they think it will protect them. They think that if there are still some Black folk out there who believe that if they ignore white supremacy, it'll go away. They've gotten their asses kicked since the day they were born. They've gotten used to it. They can take a pretty good ass whooping. So getting their asses beat isn't what they're running from anymore. Now they're just simply telling themselves, well, if I ignore it, it'll make the beating shorter. And they're calling that a strategy. It's not because they don't see it. It is because they think they found some way to, they've gotten so used to getting beat on that it doesn't offend them. And those are the only two Black folks you have out there. Those who get beat on and it doesn't offend them. And those who, if you try to beat on them, it's going to be more than just offensive. That's seriously what it is. That's seriously what it's always been. Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was just a Black woman who wasn't going to get beat on no more. That's all. Harriet Tubman was not no Superman. She wasn't some genius. She wasn't some ethereal being. Look it up. Harriet Tubman was not some supernatural creature. Harriet Tubman was a Black woman who wasn't going to let you beat on her no more. That's all. She was a Black woman who said it from her chest. You ain't gonna whoop on me like that no more. That's it. The rest of these folks, y'all are doing that to them. So that's the way it's always been. Nat Turner wasn't a demigod. Spiritually, we revere him. But I mean, it wasn't that he was some supernatural genius. He was a Black man who said enough is a damn enough. And I ain't taking the beatings
to be party guys sometimes, you know.
You're not gonna keep
I look in the mirror and I say, "Goddamn."
Tim Mark DC. We can go down the list. Alexander Turner. I'm not gonna do it all day, but y'all get the point.
Young party guy.
That's it. There was nothing supernatural about them. They just weren't gonna let you beat them anymore. And that's just the choice we've always had to make.
Vlogs.
We've always had to make the choice of, are we more afraid of white supremacy than we are of being humiliated, degraded? Those are your choices. And a lot of folks choose, well, I'm most scared of white supremacy. Y'all cause no kind of trouble. That's why Roland is always sitting there buck dancing. Every time you see him, that's the reason why he's always doing that. You always see that bug-eyed look on his face. He's been broken. He's been broken. But just understand, Brother Nate, it's not a news flash. It's not rocket science. It's not deep psychology. It is simply they're the black folk who are tired of getting beaten on, and those who are not. That's it. And we have made that choice every day since Jamestown, and we continue as a people to make that choice today. Thank you very much for giving us a call. To my callers, please, we want to try to make things as brief as possible, so please get immediately to your questions. Please do not monologue. That's the host's job. Let me get caller from area code 270. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Gina, and I'm calling from Kentucky.
Regina, from where at in Kentucky?
Hawkinsville.
All right, Regina, what's on your mind?
Hawkinsville.
Yes, I just wanted to
She
say
sound like
that
Marlon's girl.
we will never get anything done until we stop addressing ourselves on the names that don't fit us. We're not black.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your call tonight, ma'am. You take care out there in Hawkinsville or whatever. Take care out there. Let me get folks.
All right,
we don't play
Have
semantics.
a nice
It doesn't
night.
matter what you want to call us. It really doesn't. White supremacy doesn't want you to call a name at all. They don't even want to be called by a name. So for those of you who are still fighting the war of semantics, please, you have a Facebook timeline that 2 other people read. Start there. Caller from area code 360. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Simeon Rivers. I'm from Washington, or from Olympia, Washington. Apologies.
Obsidian from Olympia, Washington. What's on your mind?
I was just first. I just want to say, amazing intellect. You have given me so much knowledge, and thank you for that. Second off, when you was talking on Roland Martin on the bootlookers versus ballers episode, you spoken and said that Roland Martin isn't a threat, and I agree in a sense where I don't think he's a threat to any intelligent black folk. But like I said before, I come from Washington, and our population of black folk doesn't exceed 600,000. There's a lot of whitewashed young coons out here. I was one of them for a clean minute. And people like Jesse Lee Peterson, Roland Martin, even like new white people who are like podcasters like Steven Crower. I don't know if you know that crazy dude at all. Are out here pretty much consistently creating new gaslighting language to keep them indoctrinated. And I was just wondering if you see that as a threat at all to young black youth that are in majority white areas.
Well, brother, white supremacy is global. So as far as do I see it as a threat? Yes, absolutely. I don't see a greater threat in areas that are majority white, quote unquote, or non-majority white, quote unquote. We're under threat everywhere because you live in a system where the system levels its resources against you. It doesn't level manpower against you. You live in a system that levels resources. So it doesn't matter where you are, they can bring their resources to bear. So